Good morning, children. Welcome back to English online class of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. I hope all my dear children are doing great and staying safe at home. Yes? Okay, children. Let's start our today's session. Today, let's discuss a very interesting poem. When do hippos play? Children, have you ever thought of what would be the daily activities or the daily routine of animals and what animals think about each other or speak with each other? Have you ever thought of all these, children? We human beings have daily routine. We get up early in the morning, brush our teeth, have a bath, say our prayers, eat the breakfast, attend online classes, have some play, and goes on. Our activities goes on. So children, let's see what would be the daily routine of animals, and this is what our author Daniel Errico discusses in this poem, What Do Hippos Play? Who's Daniel Errico? Let's know more about him. A former mechanical engineer, Daniel Errico left his career at an investment bank to create stories for children. Our author, Daniel Errico, was a mechanical engineer. He was also working in a bank, but he left his job in order to write stories for children. So now our Daniel Errico is a children's author and publisher. He has a publishing company called Pajama Publishing and a website of children's stories called freechildrenstories.com, which offers free and original media for children. Children, if possible, you have to go to this website and read his fantasy stories. He is a creator of The Bravest Knight, which is an award-winning original series. And some of his stories are The Journey of the Noble Nabal and The Journey of the Mama Bill. So these are his famous stories. Now, as we had enough knowledge about our author, let's go to the explanation of our poem, When Do Hippos Play? Let's read the poem once and then we will move for the explanation. When do hippos play? By the African river known as the Nile, the sun fell away and it rested a while. The rhinos had braved all the smoldering heat. They lay down to sleep as they wiped off their feet. The elephants marched to their elephant beds and gently they rested their elephant heads. The hippos went bathing in cool, shallow pools, thinking the rhinos and elephants fools. Slowly, the hippos sank into the river, the water so cold that it gave them a shiver. Hippos can't swim like the pelicans think. They also can't float. They could easily sink. Underwater, they fell to the soft riverbed on darkish green plants with a smidgen of red. They sprawled on the bottom, then bounced up for air. They did it for hours without any care. The fish followed closely and wove in and out under their belly and up to their snout. Each of the hippos came up to the shore to feed on the grass by the river once more. They dried off their bodies by shaking and stomping and took bites of grass, chewing and chomping. With night fading fast, they were full from the feast. The sun came back, rising from the east. The hippos crept off to collapse for the day, while rhinos and elephants got up to play, enjoying the warmth of the sun and its light, never knowing the story of hippos at night. By Daniel Errico. Children, in this poem, the speaker or the poet tells us about three animals. Which are the three animals, children? They are the rhinoceros or rhinos, elephants, hippopotamus or hippos. And he also tells us about their daily routines or their daily activities. When rhinos and elephants sleep at night, hippos play, bathe and eat. When day begins or when sun rises, they go off to sleep while the rhinos and elephants wake up and do their daily activities. Now let's move to the line by line explanation of the poem. Let's look at the first 6 lines. By the African river known as the Nile, the sun fell away and it rested a while. The rhinos had braved all the smoldering heat. They lay down to sleep as they wiped off their feet. The elephants marched to their elephant beds and gently they rested their elephant heads. Children, the setting of the poem is by the river Nile. River Nile is the longest river in Africa. So here lives 3 animals, rhinos, elephants and hippos. These 3 animals live by the side of this river Nile. The sun fell away. Fell away means set. The sun had set. The sun had already set and it rested a while. The rhinos had braved. Braved means they have faced everything without fear. They have faced every situation courageously. All the smoldering heat. Smoldering heat means the hot sun, under the boiling heat. Okay, so they have tolerated or they have suffered everything under this hot sun. They have did all their daily activities under this hot sun. They had a great time under this hot sun. Now the sun had already set, so they all went to their resting places. Both the rhinos and elephants went to their resting places. How did the rhinos go? They lay down to sleep by wiping off their feet. They dried their feet and then they went to sleep. And what about elephants, children? Elephants, they marched or they went to their elephant beds and they gently placed their elephant heads on the ground and they also rested. In the rest of the lines, our poet describes the activities did by the hippos, what they do during the night time. So let's see what the hippos do at night. Let's read the lines first. The hippos went bathing in cool, shallow pools, thinking the rhinos and elephants fools. So the hippos would go to these pools and these pools are very cool and shallow. Shallow means not very deep. The area of the river which is not very deep. So they go to shallow pools and they make fun of or they feel that these rhinos or elephants are really fools. Actually, they are missing all the fun at night. See, these rhinos and elephants, they are sleeping at night. They are taking rest instead of having fun at night. So these are the thoughts of our hippos. Then what does the hippos do? They sang into the river slowly. The water is so cold and it gave them a shiver. We also have a shivering when it is so cold outside. The hippos also felt that shivering when they sang into the cold water. And what does the pelicans think about these hippos? Pelicans are the large birds with long beaks. What does they think about hippos? They think that why these hippos are not swimming or why they are not floating, why they are just singing into the water. Singing means why they just get immersed into the water, why they just go underwater without swimming or floating. These are the thoughts of the pelicans. But poor hippos, they cannot swim or they cannot float. But they can easily sing into the water. They can get easily immersed into the water. Now, what does they do underwater? Underwater, they fell into a soft river bed. Why it is called soft, children? Because that area of the river is covered with green plants, with dark green plants, with a smidgen means some part, a small portion or a small part of this river bed is covered with or is covered in red color. So this hippos, they fell onto the soft river bed. Children, now let's move to the second page of our poem, page number 27, where we can see the activities of the hippos still continues at night after the sunset. They are very active during the night. So what they do, children? They go to the bottom of the river. They go to the bottom of the river and they stroll there for some time. Stroll means they walk very slowly and easily for some time. And they would be followed by the fish. the fish would wove in and out. Wove means to move from one place to another. Just like we stitch our dress with threads. Just like the threads move along the clothes or pass through the clothes. Similarly, the fish also wove in and out under their belly. Belly means stomach. Stomach of the hippos. And up to their snout. Snout is the long mouth and nose of an animal. So the fish would follow them closely. They would wove in and out under their belly and also up to their snout, up to their nose or mouth. After spending some time underwater, the hippos would come up to eat the grass by the riverside. So how would they come to eat the grass, children? First, they would dry off their bodies by shaking and stomping. Stomping means walk heavily. You all know that it is a heavy animal. So when they walk on the ground, they would make large noise. And that is called stomping. Stomping means to walk heavily. Even we also sometimes stomp. When we get angry, we hit our feet hard on the ground to make a noise when we get angry. Similarly, the hippos were also stomping and they were shaking off their bodies to get dry. And they would come to the riverside to eat the grass. And how would they eat, children? They would chew and chomp. How would they eat? They would make noise while eating also. In the next lines, with night fading fast, they were full from the feast. The sun came back, rising from the east. So children, by the time they finish their feast, the sun rises again from the east. And who is they referred to in these lines, children? They means the hippos. And feast means large meal. So they had their large meal. And what is the meal, children? It is the grass. The hippos feasted on the grass by the riverside. By the time they finish their feast, the sun rises again from the east. Now the hippos crept off. Crept off means they moved slowly to collapse for the day. Collapse means fall down suddenly. But here it means they collapse means they took rest. The hippos, which were busy right throughout the night, they fall down to take rest and sleep during the day. Now it is already daytime and it is the fun time for our rhinos and elephants. They would be very active during the daytime. They would get up and they would play, enjoying the warmth of the sun and its light, never knowing the story of hippos at night. And they never know what the hippos will do at night because they would be very busy sleeping at night. Children, I hope you understood very well the poem When Do Hippos Play, and you also enjoyed the poem. Yes? Okay, children. So download the notes that are attached and also do attempt the test. Okay? So that's all for today. Let's wind up the session.